the biggest country on our continent,
Yes.
which is 2.5 million square kilometers. In fact, we can collect all of you in this continent of Africa and just put you in the Sudan. That
And
will
we'll
be good
fit in.
enough. Yes, you'll fit in. Definitely, you fit in there. You don't have to have these small territories you have around you. So now,
Yes.
so you can see that the historical aspect, the people of South Sudan were never given that opportunity.
Correct. And the discrimination
Yes,
from
in
the
fact,
north. They never
yeah.
considered you Sudanese.
Yeah, the problem was the governments that took over from the colonial authority. It started to adopt policies in order to Arabize and Islamize the country, a country where the majority are Africans. And so there was conflict of identity, a conflict of cultural attitudes in the country, a problem, a religious element in it, part Islam, part Christian, part African religions. So a complete plural, multi-plural country, multicultural, multilingual, multi-religious. And if one group comes out in a country like that and say this country must be an Arab Islamic country, you're creating a problem. Yeah. So you can see the policies of various governments actually alienated the South completely. That's why the people of South Sudan were saying no. We had the first Anyanya War, as you know, from 1955, 72. In that war, our people lost about 1 million people, And then the Addis Ababa Peace Agreement came, where it was recognized there are cultural differences, religious differences, political differences. So the autonomy for the government of South Sudan was done in 72 to 83. For 10 years, there was peace because the South was administering itself. Yeah. And during that time, oil was discovered in the South. So President Nemeri said, no, with this territory now, with oil here, these people might even move into separation. So he tore up the agreement. So in 83, we went back, which is led by our chairman, Dr. John Garang Mabur, and he said, look, we might have a multicultural, plural, multi-party, democratic system, secular government. Well, the ruling government in Khartoum said, no, they are an Islamic state. And for that matter, declaring an Islamic state in a country which is multi-religious and declaring it as an Arab territory in a country which is multiracial, there was definitely a problem. Yeah. That's why your countries, countries like Kenya with President Moy, yes, others, Museveni and the rest, thought that the IGAD countries, thought that because of the expensive and the danger and the humiliation and the loss of life, and it even became a problem to your countries. Thousands of our people had to cross into your country, to Kenya, into Uganda, into Ethiopia, to the rest of the world, in order to save their lives. Internally, about 4 million people were internally displaced.
Within Southern Sudan?
Within Southern Sudan itself. So it was a complete devastation. That's why when the IGAD peace process started, with Abuja 1, Abuja 2, then it came here to Nairobi, and we signed the comprehensive peace agreement, you said 9th of January 2005. Yeah. We had agreed on very specific issues. That, okay, because in Machakos Protocol, because the government of Khartoum at the time said, okay, we could not separate state from religion, so we agreed, okay, we shall give the right of self-determination to the people of South Sudan, at least to decide voluntarily and in a free and fair manner what they would want to do of the two options, attractive unity or separation, you see. Yeah. So this was agreed, and in the meantime, we will have an interim administration. Government of National Unity in Khartoum, government of South Sudan, will have our different parliaments, Yeah. We will have our different judicial systems, different legislatures, and then during these 6 years, we will try to make the option of unity, make unity attractive. What does that mean? Why Southerners said, okay, let us give the unity a chance. This is why of these 6 years. Because we thought the unity we had for the last 50 years of bombing, or becoming refugees, or being killed, of death, of suffering, of no development, unity was having a bad name. So our late chairman, Dr. Garang, said, let us make unity attractive for the next 6 years. This is how we have the 6 years attractive period. What does it mean? It means that the government of Khartoum should have been now doing development in the South. The Southern Sudanese would expect to have schools for their children, have health centers, have shelter, clean drinking water, roads built. This would say, because these 6 years would still be in unity, also different governments, And the people of the South say, oh, these guys have changed. Maybe we can continue with this type of arrangement. Now, 5 years as we are now, unity has not been made attractive because our partners in Khartoum, the National Congress Party, who are the leading political party in the north, did not actually carry out what they should have done. Since 2005, they should have, because we are sharing our oil wealth, they get 50%, we get 50%. We are even doubtful that ours is really 50. I mean, a lot of information now reveals beyond any doubt that it is, we have been getting only 26%.
Of your own 50?
Of our own 50.
So they're getting their 50 plus another 24.
Now, this is a point we are contesting very seriously. And because the unity has not been made attractive, on our part, they ask, what has the government of South Sudan done? Yes, we have done a lot, Jeff. If you went to the South in 2005, there was nothing. Offices destroyed, no roads, whatever. But now, as you go, at least we have established our structures. Executive structures are in place. Judicial structures are in place. Our legislature, we have 10 states now in the South, with governments, with the legislative authority and the judicial system, administration. We are transforming our army, the SPLA, into a national army. We have a DDR program, disarmament and reintegration program, of which we have 90,000 SPLA troops that we are demobilizing. You know, we build our roads. For your information, for the first time you can drive now from Juba up to Nairobi, isn't it?
Correct.
Ours is a gravel road. It never happened before. We can drive today from Juba right up to Uganda, straight on. You know, first time since 1898, you can drive from Juba even up to Khartoum. A thing they never did for the last 50 years when they have been in charge of that administration.
Ambassador, I want to talk about that. I think that's very important. And also, you didn't mention that there's oil in the north that they don't share with you.
No, we don't share the oil in the north.
I want to talk about that because that's downright wrong. And also this discrimination, man. Why do they hate us so much? Well, I want to talk about that after the break because it's very key.
Yeah, thank you.
My goodness, what a history lesson. Dr. Barnaba Mariel Benjamin knows what he's talking about. He's been in the struggle in southern Sudan from day one, a country that suffered untold lives, loss of lives, 2.5 million in the last civil war that lasted more than 20 years, millions more in the first civil war. It is time to secede. It is time to be a new country, and the South is ready. T-minus 90 days and counting to referendum on January the 9th. The bench, I tell you, you cannot find this kind of information anywhere else. So sit back, because the bench is back in a moment.